Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're here in front of you guys to discuss about theories on the source of intrinsic motivation. I will be the one to discuss about attribution, self-efficacy, self-determination, and self-regulation theories. Goal theory, choice theory, Maslow hierarchy of needs will be discussed to us with Ms. Gretchen Cabalita. Take the challenge. In this module, challenge yourself to explain to a learning partner the following theories on the source of intrinsic motivation: attribution theory, self-efficacy theory, self-determination and self-regulation theory, goal theory, choice theory, Maslow hierarchy of needs. Together with a learning partner, cite the implication of these theories to the facilitation of learning. So what is attribution theory? This theory explains that we attribute our success or failures or other event to several factors. For instance, you attribute your popularity to your popular parents or to your own sterling academic performance. Or you attribute the poor economic condition you are into the land reform of the Philippine government, your land subjective to land perform, or the vices of your father. So, attribution theory ay isang factor na nakakaapekto sa isang bagay o pangyayari. So, example is sikat ka dahil sikat ang iyong mga magulang o ang iyong mga kamag-anak. Another example is mayaman ka dahil mayaman ang iyong pamilya. This attribution differ from one another in three ways. First, locus, stability, and controllability. So, first is locus or place. Internal versus external. If your student traces his good grade to his ability and to his hard work, he attributes his good grade to internal factors. If your student, however, claims that his good grade is due to effective teaching of his teacher or to the adequate library facilities, he attributes his good grade to factors external to himself. So another example is, isa ka sa mga estudyante na malalaki ang grades. Ang iniisip mo, baka malaki ang grades ko dahil sa pagsisipag ko sa pag-aaral o dahil sa matalino talaga ako. So, ang ibig sabihin nun is internal siya because it is from yourself. Pero, pag sinabi mong malaki ang iyong grades dahil sa iyong mga kaibigan o dahil sa kabaitan ng iyong guro, ibig sabihin nun, external siya because it is from your friend or reason why you are having a high grade. So next is stability. Stable versus unstable. If you attribute your poor performance to what you have inherited from your parents, then you are attributing the cause of your performance to something stable, something that cannot change because it is in your genes. If you attribute it to excessive watching TV, then you are claiming that your poor eyesight is caused by an unstable factor, something that can change. So stable is namamana or inheritance. So example is, matalino ka kasi matalino ang iyong mga magulang. So stable siya because it's cannot change. Nandun na sa dugo nyo ang pagiging matalino. So unstable naman is, for example is, effort. Masasabi natin unstable siya because pwede natin siyang ma-change if gugustuhin natin. It depends from us kung mag-e-effort tayo or hindi. So, next is controllability. So, controllable versus uncontrollable. If your student claims his poor academic performance is due to his teacher and effective teaching strategy, he attributes his poor performance to a factor beyond his control. If however, you admit that his poor class performance is due to his poor study habits and low motivation, he attributes the event to factors which are very much within his control. So, for example is, ginaklaim mo na maliit ang iyong grades because hindi marunong magturo ang iyong guro. So, therefore, uncontrolled siya because hindi mo hawak ang knowledge ng iba. Kung kaya't ang nagbibigay ng idea ay hindi ang iyong sarili, kundi ang iba, which is hindi mo na yun makokontrol. Pero pag once you said na maliit ang iyong grade because hindi ka nag-study or you are using your cell phone playing online games and hindi ka nagre-review, yan ay tinatawag na controllable. Why? Pwede mo kasi itong kontrolin ang iyong sarili na hindi muna maglaro at mag-focus muna sa pag-aaral. So next is relationship among the dimension of attributes. So attribution, we have ability, effort, luck, and task difficulty. So sa ability is inside the learner siya kasi nakikita yon sa mga estudyante. So hindi na yun mababago and learner out of control. Sa effort naman is inside the learner siya, unstable siya at pero mababago pa rin if mag-effort tayo or hindi, and controllable din siya. So sa luck, outside of the learner, so unstable siya, pwede pa rin siyang mabago, and learner out of control. So sa task difficulty, outside the learner, hindi natin siya mababago, learner out of control. So self-efficacy theory, so a sense of high self-efficacy means a high sense of competence. Self-efficacy is a belief that one has the necessary capabilities to perform a task, fulfill a rule, expectation, or meet a challenging situation successfully. When your student believe that they have the ability to perform learning activities successfully, they are more likely to be intrinsically motivated to do such learning activities. So self-efficacy theory talks about an individual's high sense of competences. It believes that a certain person or student has a sort of capabilities to complete a task without hesitation and hassle, perform any kinds of rules perfectly, and can make any kinds of situations successfully. If your students are more likely to have a motivation to do such learning activities. So below are the strategy when it comes to self-efficacy theory. So first is make sure that your student know and master basic skills. Mastery of the basic skills is like reading, writing, arithmetic will enable the child to tackle higher level activities. Imagine how miserable it is for a student who has not mastered the basic skills, unable to perform higher level learning tasks that require display and use of basic skill. Your student will feel he is a failure in his school life. So make sure that your student know and master basic skills such as reading, writing, and so on. Mastery of these basic skills can be a milestone to a student to perform any higher learning activities in school and feel motivated by doing it. Just imagine having a student who has no knowledge about basic skill. How can she perform higher level activity even in a simple and basic skill? She can't do, right? So you should know and master first your student in a basic skill so that in performing higher skill they have already a sort of basis and idea to perform it very well. So next is help them make noticeable progress on difficult tasks. So you like to give up a climbing a mountain when you feel that you are not making progress at all. When you have spent hours and hours on difficult tasks and you seem not to be progressing, you need to think that your efforts are leading you nowhere and you want to give up. That's why it is good that you are helped to see progress while you are working on your difficult task. The knowledge that you are progressing inspires you to keep on. So it's more likely giving your student a recognition on performing hard tasks, so she will boast her confidence to perform it. Of course, we all want to do such hard things and pass it through out, but if we already done our best and think that there is missing or something that make you think that it is not enough, then we need a one person that can see our progress and notice our hard work. So next is communicate confidence in student abilities through words and action. Express confidence that your student with all their abilities can easily tackle the learning task. Words like, if you were able to do more difficult tasks yesterday, what you are asked to do today is much easier than that of yesterday. Needless to say that your body language and your words expressing your belief in their abilities must match. So it is more likely to boost the morale of your student to perform any kinds of activity. It's more like you completing their hard works together with her skills and own abilities. So lastly is expose them to successful peers. Being with successful peers, you student will inhale success and get energized to succeed as well. Success is infectious in the same way that failure is also contagious. So by exposing them into those successful person, of course they will be motivated to strive more and do any such things, enable also to achieve what others did. It's just like putting your student in a place where they can see how things work in future. So other recommendation for motivation theories: provide competence promoting feedback, communicate to your student that they can do the job, they have the ability to succeed. So you should promoting feedback to have an interaction and communication with your student or motivate them that they can do the job because they have the ability to succeed. Next is promote mastery on challenging tasks. Don't give your student extremely difficult nor extremely difficult easy tasks. Promote self-comparison rather than comparison with others. Desiderata says, if you compare yourself with others, you will become a vain and better. For always there will be greater and lesser person than yourself. So, be yourself and never compare yourself to other because malaki ang pagkakaiba ninyo. You will never be like her, so stop. Kaya kung ano ang meron ka, maging kontento ka and be confident to yourself and motivate yourself also na mas better ka kaysa sa kanya. So, be sure errors occur with an overall context of success. So, there will always be errors or mistake as we learn as we go through life. So, don't be scared making a mistake because mistake give us a lesson and we can learn from that lesson. Next is self-determination. So, student intrinsically motivated when they have a sense of self-determination, when they believe that they have some choice and control regarding the things they do and direction their lives take. A student's sense of self-determination is demonstrated in his capacity for self-regulation, refers to a person's ability to master himself. He is the I am the captain of my soul type of person. He is not a victim of circumstances. He is capable of directing himself. So self-determination, so mauna siyang mga tao or student na self-centered for choosing their own goals and working on it and reach their goals in life. Next is, what are the indicators of self-regulation? So they are the abilities to set standard for oneself. So since we are talking about self-regulation, of course, we need to set standards. We should create a limitation to ourselves, especially in making decision. Next is monitor and evaluate one's own behavior against such standard. And so after we set standard for ourselves, so we should observe what are the things that is needed to improve or not. You should identify and differentiate the outcomes of imposing your standard, whether it helps yourself or not, and impose consequences on oneself for one's success or failure. So you should reward yourself in the outcomes of making your standard is good. If not, create also a punishment or consequence so that you will be motivated to achieve your goals. Next is so how does self-regulation relate to motivation? So a student who is capable of self-regulation is more likely to be more intrinsically motivated because he set his goal and standard. He monitor his progress and evaluate his own performance. So, ang estudyante nga nakaset ng self-regulation kay murag naa na siya focus sa iyang goal. So, murag ginaset niya iyang standard o limitation. Halimbawa, ikaw, gusto ka mo graduate, ibig sabihin, mag-set kag standard nga naa kay self-regulation. Kung unsay dapat nimo pugnan para dili ka maapektuhan imong pag-eskwela. Tapos, lantawon nimo imong mga lackness kung asa imong kulang o kung unsa kailangan nimo i-improve para makagraduate. So, na-links siya sa motivation kay murag nag-set na kag standard nga makamit nimo imong goals. Next is goal setting. So self-regulated learners know what they want to accomplish when they read or study. So learners set their goals or wants when they are accomplish their studies. For instance, if they want to study or read, they have their purpose or goal that they want to set. So next is planning. Self-regulated learners determine ahead of time how best to use the time they have available for learning. So a self-regulated student create a plan on how she manage her time to make the learnings possible. So next is attention control. Self-regulated learners try to focus their attention on the subject matter at hand and clear their minds of distracting thoughts and emotion. So regulated learners set aside all the distraction like emotion or feelings and other subjected that can destroy her focus. She attention intended to her student. So application of learning strategies. So self-regulated learners choose different learning strategies depending on the specific goal they want to accomplish. So regulated student will choose a learning strategies on how will accomplish the goal. So next is self-monitor. Self-regulated learners continually monitor their progress toward their goals and they change their learning strategies or modify their goals if necessary. So regulated student will monitor herself if it is have a progress or not. If not, change your learning strategies for you to achieve your goals in yourself. So next is self-evaluation. Self-regulated learner determine whether what they have learned is sufficient for the goals they have set. So the self-regulated students evaluate whether what they have learned is enough for them or not, and they still need to reach their goals. So here are some suggestions from motivation theories to enhance students' sense of self-determination about school activities assignment. So present rules and instruction in informational manner rather than controlling manner. Provide opportunity for students to make choices. A particular lesson objectives can be reached by the use of varied strategy. Student will be more likely to be intrinsically motivated to attain it, of course, within the set of parameters. Evaluate the student performance in a non-controlling fashion. Communicate evaluation results to inform your student of their progress without passing judgment of some sort, but to make them see that they are strong in some point but not in the other item.
Hello everyone, my name is Gershon Pica Balida. I am the next reporter for the continuation of the report of Ms. Rina Navarro. So the content is choice theory, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and goal theory. Choice theory. Bob Solow, 2007 writes that choice theory is a biological theory that suggests that we are born with specific needs that we are genetically instructed to satisfy. All of our behavior represent our best attempt at any moment to satisfy our basic needs or genetic instructions. So choice theory helps us understand and manage our own behavior. The psychologist William Glasser says that there are differences between external and internal controls for psychology. External is a behavior based on others' behavior on how they do behave. Internal is a behavior based on the inside of ourselves. So there are 4 basic psychological needs. First is the belonging or connecting. The need for belonging and connecting motivates students to develop relationships and cooperate with others. Without the need for belonging and cooperating, students should have only strive to be independent. So, we teachers, we should make sure that we create a sense of community and make sure that every student feel that she belongs to the classroom community. Kasi pag once na ma-feel sa students na hindi siya belong, it will affect or mawawalan siya ng gana na pumasok sa paaralan. The more they feel that they belong or connect to the classroom community, the more na mas maging active sila to engage in any kind of activities. The second psychological needs is the power or competence. The needs for power is more than just a drive to dominate. Power is gained through competence, achievement, and mastery. Our genetic instruction is to achieve, master new skills, and to be recognized for our accomplishments. So as a teacher, we need to satisfy the need for power for our students by helping them to acquire it by making them achieve and help them to master their lessons so that they will end up as a very competent students. As a result of their competence and excellent achievements, they get recognized and experience genuine power. So, as a teacher, let us teach our students that the source of authentic power is competence, hindi ang pagiging bully or any other irresponsible behaviors. In this way, we can teach them to learn the true road to power. As humans, we are also motivated to be free to choose. Having choices is part of what it means to be human and is one reason our species has been able to evolve, adapt, and thrive. So, to motivate our students for learning, let us give them ample freedom to choose in a way that are safe and responsible and make sure that it is a developmentally appropriate so that we can help our students learn and grow into the responsible persons they are called to be. The last basic psychological needs is fun. Each time we learn something new, we are having fun, another universal human motivator. It is our playfulness and our sense of discovery that allow us to learn as much as we do. As a students, di ba pag nakikita natin o nafe-feel natin na masaya tayo sa ganito o ganyan, ay mas nabibigyan tayo ng interes sa isang bagay. So in a classroom community, if we teachers create a joyful classroom that would satisfy their need for fun, students are most likely to learn much. Pero pag once na na-feel nila na boring, ay nawawalan sila ng gana na mag-aral. That's why, to make them actively engage in any kind of activities, make sure that we create a fun activities such as game-based learning. Now, let us proceed and learn about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which proposed by Abraham Maslow in 1943. So, there are 5 stages of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. First is physiological needs, such as the needs of air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, and reproduction, na kung saan ay ilan sa mga basic needs natin as a human. The moment we get enough of that and we feel awake, our bellies are full, then we will get motivated by the next thing. The second stage is the safety needs, such as personal security, employment, resources, health, and property. So, safety needs is the fundamental needs for us as a humankind. Once we satisfy our needs for our safety, it can motivate us in everyday living. Kasi kung wala tayong trabaho, saan tayo kukuha ng pera pang tusto sa pang-araw-araw? Kung wala tayong properties, saan tayo maninirahan? Kung wala tayong resources, saan tayo kukuha ng makakain, mga damit at iba pa? So in this stage, we need to satisfy our safety needs so that we can be able to live and secure. At stage 3, we seek love and belonging. We desire to be close to family and friends, belong to a society. If we felt to be loved and belong, it will motivate us to live positively. It motivates us to develop our relationship and cooperate with others. Sa panahon ngayon, marami na ang cases ng suicidal at isa sa mga rason ay nafe-feel nila na hindi sila belong at walang nagmamahal sa kanila. Kaya we individual, we should be nice to everybody. Ipakita at iparamdam natin na they are belong and worth it to be loved, lalo na sa mga mahal natin sa buhay. At stage 4, we look for esteem such as respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, strength, and power. We want to be someone to be appreciated. If we satisfy these needs, it can motivate us to do better in life. It will help us to take care of ourselves and explore our full potential. And now the fifth and last stage, the self-actualization, which is desired to become the most that one can be. If we breathe and drink, eat and sleep enough and we feel safe and part of a group and still special, that means we reach our need in self-actualization. In this stage, we can satisfy our self-actualization by achieving our needs. Goal theory. Learning goals versus performance goals. The goals we set for ourselves affect our levels of motivation. Our goal is a powerful process for thinking about our future. If we want to succeed, we need to set goals. It is important that we have a goals in life kasi kung walang goals ay mawawalan din tayo ng focus sa ating direction sa buhay. So, learning goal is a desire to acquire additional knowledge or master new skills. So, we as a teacher, ang goal natin dito ay ang matuto ang ating mga estudyante ng bagong kaalaman. We need to create a learning objectives that should be brief, clear, specific statement of what learners will be able to do at the end of the lesson. Performance goal desired to look good and receive favorable judgment from others or else look bad and receive unfavorable judgment. So it is a short-term objectives that is expected to achieve within a set period of time. So in a classroom community, the students do their best by their performance goal so that they can get a higher grades. Self-determined goals. Personally relevant and self-determined goals enhance a student's motivation. So dito, kapag ang lesson objectives ay related in real-life situation, mas namomotivate yung bata na mag-aral at matuto. Nagkakaroon sila ng interest to actively engage in class on their own determination. As a teacher, di na tayo mahihirapan pa na iinganyo sila to be active as long as they find the lesson objectives related to their own life. Now for the goal setting, as I said earlier, our goal setting is a process of thinking about our future. So there are 5 major elements for it to be effective. So first is the goal acceptance. So to be effective, we need the agreement to achieve the defined goals. The second major element is the specificity. So dapat maging specific tayo sa ating goal para alam natin kung ano ang mga dapat gawin upang ma-achieve ang ating mga goals. So we need to be specific, like I want to be a professional. So specific ba siya? So, di ba hindi? So, kailangan natin maging specific, like kung anong klaseng professional, like I want to be a professional teacher. So, the third major element is the challenge. We need to accept the challenges by giving effort and putting the goal over time. In order to goals to be meaningful, they need to be challenging. So, accept the challenge positively to achieve our goals. The fourth major element is the performance monitoring. So of course, we need to monitor our performance in achieving our goals para ma-monitor nato if na-accomplish ba nato ang atong goal. Para kung wala man is makabuhatag way kung unsa atong mga dapat buhaton para ma-achieve ang ating goals. The fifth and last major element is the performance feedback. So, performance feedback help us na makita kung ano ang mga progress para sa ating goals. Now, for the lesson objectives. So, to be more effective, let us remember always the SMART word, which means is specific, measurable, attainable, result-oriented, and time-bound. So specific, like I said earlier, we need to be specific in our goals. The more specific we are, the easier it will be quantity your result along the way. So another example is if you want to lose weight, so to be specific, how much weight do you want to lose? So to be specific to yourself, you should set your goals like in 1 month, I want to lose 50 pounds like that. So SMART goals should be measurable in which we can quantify progress, like for example, if we want to lose weight. How can we achieve this goal? So we should measure kung ilan percent o pounds ang dapat na ma-lose. Now, for the attainable, we need to make sure na kung mag-set tayo ng goals, dapat it is possible to achieve the desired results. So, for example, I want to be a professional teacher after 10 years. So, dapat achievable talaga. For the result-oriented, also known as relevant, so our goal should be relevant to the direction of our life. Dapat, if we set a goal, ay dapat pagtuunan natin ng pansin for us to achieve a positive result for our goals. A SMART goal must also be a time-bounded that has a start and finish day. If the goal is not time-constrained, there will be no sense of urgency. There's less motivation for achieving the goal. Kasi 'di ba pag may deadline, mas ma-motivate ta na ma-achieve ato ang goal. Like for example, in making assignment. So in our assignment, there is 2 days before the deadline. That way, we set a goals kung kanus abuhaton o dapat kanus mahuman ang assignment. Di ba nga minsan kung kailan malapit na yung deadline, doon pa tayo na motivate na gawin o tapusin ang ating assignment. So again, in setting a goals, always remember the SMART goal. That's all for today. Thank you and God bless.